Good morning, students, and we have to discuss about the problematic for some two problems will be left out in the schematic trigger circuit and all, and we'll go for that, and after that we'll go for the filters. Okay, so let us see this problem first. So wait a minute. Okay, coming to this topic, this problem, uh, this one. This problem design schematic whose threshold voltage are plus 5 volt plus or minus 5 draw its waveforms choosing an operational amplifier of V saturation plus or minus 13.5 volts with supply plus or minus 15 volts has been given. Right here, see here, um, here it is, VUTP plus 5 volt has been given, and we know the formula, right? VUTP is equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VSAT. Okay, and we know the VSAT value 13.5 volts, and R2 divided by R1 plus R2 we don't know, that is equal to 5 volt is VUTP plus 5 volts, right? So that is been given here, and R1 plus R2, after rearranging this equation we'll get R1 plus R2 is 2.7 R2. Okay, let that is what exactly R1 is equal to 1.7 R2. Okay, and we don't know R2 and we don't know R1, right? For that reason we have to choose one value, that is R2 as 10 kilo ohm, that is the standard resistance value. So okay, after that, what exactly is design schematic trigger whose threshold voltage is plus or minus 5 volt has been given. So the circuit diagram is this one. Circuit diagram of this one is this one, right? So here it is a non-inverting terminal, so input voltage has been given to the inverting terminal, right? So for that reason resistance values, one is 10 kilo ohm and one is 18 kilo ohm. After calculating these to put the resistor value in the here, and the voltage is been plus 15 volt and minus 15 volt, right? So for the designing schematic, and also he told that draw the waveforms. For that reason we have to write like this waveform, plus or minus 5 volts, that is the input signal, right? So and after that the output will be what, the schematic trigger output should be in rectangular pulses, right? So this is in a rectangular pulses. So what is the voltage of this, already we find out, he has been given that there is 13 plus or minus 13.5 volts, right? So for that reason VSAT minus VSAT should be plus 13.5 volts and minus 13.5 volts. This is what exactly, if it is asked in the examination, all thing you should remember the formula, and after that we have to apply some values, and remaining, if you don't know the resistor value, two or more unknown values means one of the value you have to choose. Okay, this is what exactly the designing part. Okay, uh, coming to the next problem. Wait a minute. Okay, coming to this problem, for the circuit shown, R2 is equal to 120 ohm and R1 is equal to 51 kilo ohm, determine the threshold voltages if power supply applied to the operational amplifier plus 15 volt and minus 15 volt has been given. Okay, and these are the given things. So that is plus VSAT is equal to plus 15 volts. He has been given here plus 15 volts and minus 15 volts. For that reason plus VSAT is minus plus 15 volts, minus VSAT is equal to minus 15 volts, and resistor value is what, R1 is equal to 51 kilo ohm and R2 is equal to 120 ohm, and we know the formula, right? So what exactly is asked to find out is determine the threshold voltages of the power supply, right? So for that reason VUTP is equal to what, V saturation R2 divided by R1 plus R2 is the formula. There we have to substitute the value 15 volts into 120 divided by this R1 and R2 value, substitute and get the value. Here VLTP is equal to what, V set minus into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So again you have to substitute the values here and find out the values, and after substituting and all, for the circuit shown has been given, right? So this is what exactly circuit has been given earlier, but we need to find out these two values, right? So VSAT and VLTP and VUTP. So we know the formula directly, the values are being given, put this in this equation and we'll get the values. Okay, this is what exactly the formula. And coming to the next problem, wait a minute. Okay, this is the formula. This is the next problem. For the circuit shown in the figure below, find the values of R1 and R2 if supply voltage is R plus 12 volt and minus 12 volt. Assume hysteresis with a minus 6 volts. Okay, so what exactly has been given? Find the values of R1 and R2. If the supply voltage has been plus 12 volt and minus 12 volt, and hysteresis value has been given as a 6 volt. Vsat plus is equal to what? Plus 12 volt, and minus Vsat has been given as a minus 12 volt as already given, and hysteresis value Vh is equal to 6 volt. And in the given figure is what exactly it indicates that we need to find out the values, right? So Vh is equal to what? Hysteresis value. Before going to this hysteresis value, what is the VUTP, VH, VUTP and VUTP and VLTP? Okay, so before going to that, this is what exactly VUTP and this is what exactly VLTP. So R2 Vsat plus divided by R1 plus R2 minus R2 Vsat minus R1 plus R2. So after taking common R2 divided by R1 plus R2 Vsat plus minus Vsat minus, right? So we know the we know the values of Vsat plus here and Vsat minus, and substitute in this equation will be what exactly R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into 0.25. Again here we don't know one of the value, right? So two are unknown values in this case. For that reason, one of the values we have to assume, or directly after rearranging this equation, R2 divided by R1 is equal to 0.25 divided by 0.75. So assuming these two values as R1 as 10 kilo ohm and R1 as 10 kilo ohm and R2 as sorry, R2 has 10 kilo ohm and R1 has 30 kilo ohm. This is what exactly we have to find out. The if designing part means everything we should know that. So we know the formula and we know the values, right? So we have to substitute. If the two or more unknown values means we have to assume some values and we have to find out the values. Okay. So go next problem. Next problem. Determine the schemic trigger. Determine the schemic trigger. Determine the determine the schemic trigger. Determine the schemic trigger. Wait a minute. This problem. Determine the schemic trigger circuit with a UTP 4 and LTP 2 volts. Both are positive and assume Vsat has plus 14 volt. Already has been given. What are the given things here? Vsat has plus 14 volt, UTP 4 and LTP 2 volts. So design schemic trigger means what exactly the input should be in a sinusoidal waveform, right? So it is like this, and the output should be always in a rectangular pulses with a plus 14 volt and minus 14 volt, because already has been given the plus 14 volt and minus 14 volt, and we know VUTP is equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into Vsat. VLTP is equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 Vsat minus. We know the formula, right? So hysteresis value, what is the formula of hysteresis? Vh is equal to what? So Vh is equal to VUTP minus VLTP. So after subtracting these two values, we'll get this expression. Okay, so substitute the values. VLTP has been given 4 volt and VLTP has been given 2 volts, right? So after substituting, we will get that this expression R1 is equal to 13 R2. So again we know two or more unknown values. One of the values you have to choose and another value you have to find out. This is what exactly the same thing here in the schemic trigger. Design schemic trigger means always you need to find out VLTP and VUTP, and the formula you know, or resistance value. Vsat, Vsat plus, Vsat minus, everything has been mentioned here, but we have to find out R1, R2 values. One of the values we don't know, so we have to assume it and we'll find out the another one. Okay, moving to the next problem. Okay, 14 volt. Okay, see here again, here design schematic trigger and hysteresis value has been mentioned here. So VH is equal to what? UTP minus LTP. VUTP minus VLTP. Again here the formula. Directly the expression has been taken from the previous. So once you apply the formula and rearranging that, you will get this expression 2R1 2R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VSAT. Again UTP value is minus 2 volt and the LTP is minus 4. So minus into minus plus is equal to what? This is what exactly 2 is equal to this expression. So again R1 is equal to 13 times R2. One of the value you have to choose. So let R2 as 10 kilo ohm and R1 as 130 kilo ohm. Okay. And again here in this waveform diagram, again the input should be in a sinusoidal waveform, UTP and LTP. See here in this case UTP and LTP should be minus 2 and minus 4. For that it is showing in the negative direction for that reason. So for that reason here output should be also you have to show in the negative direction, minus 14 plus 14. Okay, this is what exactly this actually looks like. But also we know that UTP plus LTP, this we should skip it. This is not required because here it is given things are this one and the formula is this one. You have to do the design till up to here. This is enough. Okay. Same thing here. Design schematic trigger means you have to write the waveforms in the sinusoidal given things input side, and after that the output whatever it should be in a rectangular pulses. And we should know the formula of VUTP, VLTP, and hysteresis value formula. You should know this one means all the remaining things will be the value has been given. Just you have to substitute and find out the values in all the problems. It should be the same case. Okay. The previous problems you will look it back and the same things will be there. Okay. Moving to the next problem. Okay, this is the last problem in this schematic trigger. See here. Okay. Okay, this is the problem. For the schematic trigger, R1 is equal to 3 kilo ohm, R2 is equal to 1 kilo ohm. Calculate VUTP, VLTP, and VH. Assume saturation voltages are plus or minus 12 volts. Means what exactly is asking? Calculate VUTP, VLTP, and hysteresis value. And he already mentioned the resistor value and saturation voltages, right? So we know the formula of VLTP and VUTP. VUTP is equal to what? VSAT plus into R1 divided by R2. So substitute, we know R1, we know R2, and we know VSAT. So here it is VSAT means plus or minus 12 volt. No, VSAT plus 12 volt, VSAT minus is minus 12 volt. So R1, R2 values as we know that. Substitute and we'll get the value here. And VLTP is equal to what? Minus VSAT minus into R1 divided by R2. Again we know the values, so find out the directly the value. So 4 and minus 4 are what exactly? The VLTP and VLTP value. So what is the VH value then? VH is equal to what? Subtracting these two, VLTP minus VLTP will give the hysteresis value. So VH is equal to what? After rearranging this, we will get this expression and substituting the values. We all know the value of R1, we know R2, we know, and VSAT plus we know, and VSAT minus we know. After substituting all the values, we'll get VH as 8 volts. This is what exactly. Same thing in this design schematic trigger. Everything should be known, but you should know the formula of VUTP, VLTP, and VH value. So you should know this one to find out the schematic trigger design part. Okay. If the two are more unknowns, again I am repeating once, if the two are more unknowns at the final answer means if R2, for example, R2 is equal to 10 times of R1, so we don't know both the values of resistance, so one of the values you have to choose and find out the answer. Okay, this is what exactly about the problematic part of the inverting schematic trigger or schematic trigger or non-inverting schematic trigger. So next we'll move towards the active filters. Okay. Okay, this is what exactly active filters. See here is the active filters. What? So before going to this active filters, what is the filters then? Filter is a frequency selective circuit. Okay, Okay, commonly used in a signal processing. So these filters can be used in a signal processing mainly. So and also what exactly the filters will do, which passes the signals of a specified ranges of frequencies and also blocks the signals of frequencies which is there in outside band, means so set of ranges of frequencies within the band, no, so that will be pass the signals, these filters. So whichever the frequency range which is out of band, no, that will be, it will be blocked or it will reject. So that is what exactly the filters. So the what exactly the filters are attractive due to their uh, flexibility, gain control, small component size, no loading problem, and pass band gain, and the use of inductors can be avoided. So this is what exactly about the filters should be attractive because of these qualities. Okay, and coming to this, filters are classified into two types: digital filters and analog filters. So analog filters further divided into, categorized into two types: passive filters and active filters, right? So we have to see the difference between some passive filters and active filters. So passive filters is what, also passive filters are the filters with only components like resistors, capacitors and inductors, known as the passive filters. So in these filters which is connecting with the resistors, capacitors, inductors, these are known as the passive filters. But in the active filters is what, the filters which with the components such as an operational amplifiers, transistor and other active elements are known as an active filters. So in these passive filters, first difference is which is these filters with the resistors, inductors, capacitors are known as the passive filters. But here in the active filters, filters with the components like operational amplifier, transistor and the other active elements which known as an active filters. Okay. Second difference is what, passive filters do not require any external power supply for the operation. So it doesn't require any external supply voltage or the power supply. Okay, but here it is for the active filters, there is a requirement of any external power supply for the operation. This is the must. And the third difference is stability. For stability purpose, passive filters is better stability, can withstand a large current. So stability is better in this passive filters. But here in this active filters, oscillations and noise will be generated due to their feedback loops. Okay, here it is oscillations and the noise will be generated because of the feedback loop, because a part of the output will be connected back to the input, right? For that reason there is some oscillation, and so there is should be some noise will be there. Okay, so the next is difference is passive filters. Passive filters has no frequency, but active filters, due to their active elements, active filters have uh, some frequency limitations. But here it is in this passive filters, there is a frequency limitations is there, but here in this there is no frequency. So here frequency limitations is there in active filters, but passive filters there is no frequency limitations. Okay, so the next is so the fifth difference, the passive filters circuits are bulky, heavy due to their presence of the inductors. Because of the inductors are connected with these filters, so this should looks like a bulky and heavy circuit. And also it has to be the consume more power and also operate with a limited speed. But here in this case, active filters circuits are more compact and less heavy, so operate with a high speed. Here it is compact, it is not a less, it is not a, that much heavy, and also with a high speed. Operation should be with a high speed. The last difference is difficult to fabricate in IC form. So although always passive filters will not fabricate in IC form, but whereas in active filters we can able to fabricate this in IC. And some of the advantages of the active filters over passive filters, the first thing is gain and frequency adjustment flexibility, and the no loading problems and no insertion loss, size and weight and cost. These are all what active filters are having some advantages over passive filters depending on these parameters: cost, size and weight, and no loading problem and no insertion loss, as well as gain and frequency adjustment flexibility. Okay, most commonly used filters, active filters are the low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter and band stop filter, that is band reject filter and all pass what exactly. all pass filters. So these are all what exactly some most commonly used active filters. Okay, coming to the frequency responses graphs here, see here, in these graphs, first low pass filter frequency, this will be plotted a graph against what exactly the FH frequency versus gain graph, frequency along x-axis and gain along y-axis, and this is the pass band. The frequency which is less than FH, frequency which is less than FH, that is the pass band. So frequency which is greater than FH, that is an ideal response, that is the stop band. So this is how the low pass filter frequency looks like, graph looks like. But whereas in high pass filter response, so again the frequency will be in a what exactly the plot will be along with the frequency versus gain, but frequency along x-axis and gain along y-axis, but the frequency which is less than FL, so that is we call it as a stop band, and the frequency is greater than FL, we need to call it as a pass band. But here in the band pass filter frequency response, it is same case, same the graph will be plotted along frequency and versus gain, frequency along x-axis and the voltage gain along the y-axis. But here there is three frequencies. It's a frequency which is less than FL, that we need to call it as a stop band, and the frequency between FC between FL and FH, that should be, I need to call it as a pass band, and frequency is greater than FH, I need to call this as a stop band. So you know how the band pass filter frequency response looks like. But whereas in FL greater than FC greater than FH, that is means like this: FL greater than FC greater than FH. That is the ideal response. Okay, so in this case, band rejection filter frequency response, same thing, frequency and gain graph. So we chose that frequency FL less than the frequency FL, so we need to call it as a pass band, and the middle one is a stop band, and the last one is pass band, so which is greater than FH. This is what exactly the responses to the frequencies. So designing part on the first order low pass filters we'll see in the next class.